Welcome inside the Acres Broadcast Center. I'm Tim Mulhaupt, and this is your Sports Nightly Ticker. Men's basketball head coach Fred Hoiberg met with the media today as his team prepares for tomorrow night's contest against number 24 Michigan. Hoiberg took a moment to assess Bryce McGowan's performance after the star freshman played his first Big Ten opponent in Indiana this past Saturday.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. It's just the physicality and the strength of the players. The half-court execution when they knock you off your spot, continuing to finish your cut and playing through that contact is a big thing. All of our guys, as a group, as a whole, we need to improve on. Bryce has been phenomenal and, I think exceeded everybody's expectations. We knew he was talented, but for what he's done and produced early on in this season as a freshman has been very impressive. And, it's going to be a whole different battle now, playing against Big Ten and high major teams every night, and just continuing to learn throughout that process. But he's been phenomenal for us in this early part of the season.
Hoiberg also announced that assistant coach today announced that Matt Abdelmassih will be taking a leave of absence from the team, citing health reasons. Hoiberg offered his full support to Abdelmassih and stated that the program will look forward to his healthy return. Elsewhere in Big Ten men's basketball tonight, 6-2 Illinois is in Iowa City to take on 7-1 Iowa. That one just tipped off, and Illinois is up 7-4 as we speak. In non-game day news for men's basketball in the Big Ten, Purdue achieved their first ever #1 ranking in the AP poll in their program's history following their 8-0 start, as those rankings came out earlier today. Huskers women's basketball is on the road tonight as they get set for a 7 p.m. tip against the 6-4 Minnesota Golden Gophers. The Huskers entered tonight's action with an impressive 8-0 record and have started to garner national attention. Though the team did not receive enough votes to rank in the AP's top 25 this week, they did receive votes for the first time on the young season. Pre-game coverage begins right here on the Huskers Radio Network when Sports Nightly will hand the reins over to Matt Coatney and Jeff Griesch at 6:45 p.m. In Big Ten women's basketball tonight, Penn State is currently taking on the Hoosiers in Indiana. The Hoosiers lead that one, and they're on a run. It's 48-24 in the third quarter. And we'll switch over now to Huskers football news, as just over an hour ago, Huskers defender Feldarius Payne announced that he will be entering the transfer portal. In other college football news, 4 Heisman finalists were just announced. Michigan defensive lineman Aiden Hutchinson was named alongside 3 quarterbacks, Alabama's Bryce Young, Ohio State's C.J. Stroud, and Pittsburgh's Kenny Pickett. The winner will be announced Saturday night. Finally, in the NFL tonight, a marquee matchup on Monday Night Football. The Patriots take on the Bills. That one is in Buffalo, where wind gusts are over 50 miles an hour, and it is snowing sideways in the pregame. So that one's set to be a classic right here on Monday Night Football. That kickoff is at 7:15 p.m. That's the ticker. I'm Tim Mulhaupt, and this is Sports Nightly on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Scoggin, heat check 3 deep left. Harder you! Betcha! Scoggins hit 2 in a row for the Huskers. 81-55 Big Red.
They're just not taking their foot off the throat.
Webster coming to the right side, finds Wilcher, shoots the 3 on the way. Bang! A-ring! C.J. Wilcher.
Back set, middle swing. Keelan Caffey. Kaboom! Puts a dent in the Devaney deck. Michael Keaton in the forecourt. Drives in the lane. Flips it up in the left hand and finishes. Michael Keaton is taking over the key.
Kicks it out. Tominaga, 3 on the way. Bang! A-ring! And Tominaga hits another huge, humongous, gigantus 3.
And the Huskers the slide. Caffey. Kaboom!
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharp and Jessica Cootie on the Huskers Radio Network.
Boy, I sure wish I was standing on the sidelines in Buffalo. That sounds like fun. 50-mile-per-hour winds, snow blowing around your face.
No, thank you. But those Bills Mafia fans, they love it.
Isn't Jeremiah a member?
Yeah,
like a
he
card-carrying
definitely
member.
is. Yeah, we should ask him about that.
Ooh, man.
I'm out on that, though.
We threw another log on the fire here tonight. It was chilly here in Lincoln today. But welcome. Another week of Sports Nightly headed your way starting tonight. Not very long with you tonight, only 40 minutes. We have women's basketball. The Huskers start league play up in Minneapolis, where, by the way, it's 5 degrees right now. I just checked the latest temperature in the Twin Cities. It's 5 up there. Good thing they're inside tonight. Huskers put their undefeated record on the line. Looking forward to listening to that tonight, and I hope that good start to the season continues.
Yeah, boy, they're off to a good start and getting some top 25 votes now, and I know this is a big one. I know this program is really focused on this one. They've really been locked in on getting this first Big Ten win. And they've had so many different challenges and have seen so many different looks in this non-conference season leading up to the first Big Ten game. So I feel like they're ready. They're pumped up. They're fired up. First one on the road. And I know Minnesota's always kind of been a tough matchup, but this should be another winnable game. And I look to see them go 9-0 to start the season.
Should be fun. 6:45 for pregame coverage with Matt Coatney and Jeff Grease for the Huskers up in the Twin Cities tonight. No news really to report to you today on the coaching search for Husker football. Thought maybe something would drop today. It did not. It was Friday, and we had a really short show Friday night, and we were only here about 20 minutes Friday night to talk about Mickey Joseph, the latest addition to the staff. And man, I follow his wife on social media. She's really excited about getting up here to Lincoln.
Yeah, they're pumped. And weren't the little girls, the kids?
Yeah, Go Big Red.
Yeah, they're all decked out in Husker gear as well. And I think, again, as we talked a little bit about, just, having a former player that kind of gets it up here. I mean, it's a home run hire because we've seen all the things that he's done with the wide receivers at LSU and kind of what they're doing. And I was, again, reading up on some of the things that he's done and Jamar Chase, some of the things that he said about, Mickey and his recruiting process, that, he was not all about that recruiting process and all the hoopla, but Mickey Joseph was about the only recruiter that could actually kind of get in and actually talk to him. And they didn't talk about football. They talked about everything else but football. And so really kind of built that relationship. I also kind of read about how he kind of runs his wide receiver room, and it's kind of like an NFL room. And you got to love, if you're a young wide receiver, getting a guy like that that's going to prepare you for the next level. And it's, how you walk into that room is what it's going to be like when you go to the NFL. And so I think, if you're a young recruit, you like to hear that. You like to hear it. If you see a guy like Jamar Chase and what he's doing on Sundays and you know the guy that coached him, that is huge for some of these young recruits. And so I think it was a home run hire in that regard as well.
That group of wide receivers that LSU had 2 years ago with Joe Burrow at quarterback was phenomenal. And Mickey was a huge part of getting them to LSU, coaching them while they were there. I know the players in the Nebraska program excited to get a chance to spend some time with Mickey Joseph. We are told we're going to be able to get Mickey on the program at some point in time this week. We'll look forward to hearing that conversation, and hopefully we'll have some more news as the week progresses on the other spots, the other 3 open spots on Scott Frost's coaching staff. We are 9 days away from the early signing period day on the 15th of December. Huskers picked up a couple of commits over the weekend. They had some student athletes here. We talked about it on Friday, how the scoreboards were lit up. People might have drove by the stadium and saw the boards all lit up. They do that when they have prospective student athletes on campus. They're going to have a few more here this coming up weekend as well. So there's some momentum going there, despite the fact that they're down a couple of coaches.
Yeah, it just looks so cool when you're driving in from afar and you can see the red glow. But yeah, I think it's been, these coaches have hit the ground running. We've seen a lot of the news kind of popping up on social media with commits and, even some of the transfer portal guys. And, it's these guys that are on staff. We've heard a lot about Travis Fisher, about, Tony Tuioti, how, elite recruiters they are. And I also took a lot away just throughout the season, kind of talking to some of these players, especially the guys on the defensive line, about how much they relate to Coach Tuioti and how you hear the word family thrown around a lot, but it's kind of how you relate to it. But with Coach Tuioti, it's just such a different feel. And if you talk to him, you know it. And he's so genuine with how he does it. It can kind of be a little bit of some recruiters can be a little bit car salesman-y, but with Coach Tuioti, it's not that at all. And so I think when he's going out and recruiting, these recruits really buy into what he's selling because they believe it, because, that is how he is. He's just so genuine. So, the guys that are on the road, and those defensive coaches have a lot to sell right now. Look at what the Black Shirts did this season, and a lot of young guys that got a lot of playing time, which I know when you're a young recruit, you want to go somewhere where you can play right away. Now, that's not always the case. You don't always get that opportunity. You got to come in and earn it. But I think when you see some of these young guys, some of these young sophomore linebackers that are getting a lot of playing time, that bodes well for some of those guys when you're giving them a pitch.
Sure does. Hey, Nebraska 811 says, go dig red. Before you dig, always call or click 811. To have your utility lines marked. It's free, it's easy, it's the law. We will not have a show tomorrow night because of Husker men's basketball. They're back in the league play tomorrow with Michigan coming to town. There'll be a 6 o'clock tip. So 5 o'clock pregame coverage here on the network tomorrow night. We're going to hear in a little bit some clips from Fred Hoiberg. He had a press conference earlier today coming off the Indiana game on Saturday, and then the matchup with Michigan for tomorrow night. But when he had his press conference today, we did not have the news yet that Matt Abdelmassih, who is Nebraska's lead recruiter for that sport and also one of the assistant coaches, is going to take a leave of absence from the program to deal with some health issues that he has had. First of all, our thoughts and prayers go to Matt. Hope he's taking care of himself, and absolutely, I think your health has to come first. And these coaches, you mentioned Tony Tuiota, they all go so hard when they recruit and they're traveling and they're flying around the country. So our thoughts and prayers go out to Matt Abdelmassih.
Yeah, for sure. And, the good news, I guess, that, he is a recruiter and has been recognized and is a renowned recruiter across the country about being one of the best in that area. But at least signing days in the rearview mirror. I mean, I know recruiting kind of goes, all around, but now a lot of times the recruiting happens when they're going to be coming to games, and PBA and that atmosphere kind of sells itself too, you know. So absolutely wish him well, and it's such a grind, and so hopefully he's taking care of himself.
Buckle up, put that phone down. It's a reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Well, the Devaney Center was lit and jumping over the weekend as the Huskers punched their ticket for the Sweet 16. Amazing. If you look into the history of Nebraska volleyball, it's the 27th time in the last 28 years they've made the Sweet 16 in volleyball.
It's crazy.
It's just
so
phenomenal.
Impressive. So impressive. I mean, and it's I think you saw them kind of coming out on a mission too, as we talked a little bit about. It's got to be a different feel. You have your senior night, but they know it's it, and that's their last time to play in front of that home crowd, and I think they left it all out there for them.
Allie Batenhorst was special, and she gets
really
to go
was.
now back to the state of Texas where she's from.
No doubt, and they needed someone to step up over there, and we've kind of seen that position, that spot, go back and forth a little bit all season between Lexi Sun and Allie Batenhorst, a few players, but to have. And I think with Allie Batenhorst, we've heard Coach Cook talk about, and some of the other players and coaches, she needed to have some confidence. And I think definitely she's did a lot that she can take away from on the confidence front going into this week.
Think back, Jessica, to one of your first interviews here was with that group of freshman volleyball players and how phenomenal they've really been this year. Lexi Rodriguez has been on another planet. Right. But all of them have had moments where they've been really, really good.
No doubt. And, they were playing for Team USA in the under 20 World Championships and just killing it. They were, absolutely just on another level, and we heard so much about them, and then they have lived up to all of the hype, especially Lexi Rodriguez. I was talking to Bonnie Ryan with the SID department, and she was saying sometimes with some of those awards and national awards and whatnot that they don't love to give it to defensive players, but that might be the only holdup for her because she's no doubt made a name for herself as one of the best freshmen in all of college football.
Huskers will play Illinois in the Sweet 16 round, a team that they have beaten handily twice already. Illinois knocked off 7th-ranked Kentucky at Kentucky to get out of that regional round. So the Huskers will have a familiar foe in Austin, Texas. It's going to be a late night, Thursday night. You're going to need to take a nap that day. First serve isn't slated until 8:30. I don't think they're going to start at 8:30 because the first match starts at 6 o'clock, I think. There's no way Texas and Washington get done by then.
Yeah, sometimes those timing, with the matches are, you feel like they're pushing it a little bit, but then you have to take into account if you have a sweep, then you're just filling a lot of time. But I love that it's on TV and that they're putting it out there on ESPNU, ESPN. All of the games are broadcasted on Watch ESPN app. So good for the sport that they're kind of getting it out there and that both those games are going to be on one of the ESPN channels.
So Huskers Thursday night volleyball. We will not have a volleyball show this week. The team is actually leaving tomorrow for Austin for the regional round. They have mandatory practice sessions, mandatory press conferences. So no John Cook show this week. I know a lot of you would love to wish the coach good luck, but he can sense that. And speaking of John Cook, his winning percentage now in the NCAA tournament, 87-22 in the tournament. That's 82% winning percentage. That's unheard of.
Yeah, that is. People would love to have that in non-conference.
Yes.
80% winning. Like any coach in any sport would love to just have that on like the quote-unquote cupcake matchups. But to do that in the tournament in the postseason, that is just
unbelievable. And 27 out of 28 years to make the Sweet 16. for Husker volleyball. They'll be there on Thursday night in Austin to take on Illinois. The other half of the bracket is Washington and Texas. One of those four will punch their way out of there and get to the Final Four the next week in Columbus, Ohio. All right, a lot to talk about, but not a lot of time for you, to be honest, but we still have some open phones for you at 402-413-2400 with a call or a text. Let's head to the phones. Let's go to North Platte and Jim. Good evening, Jim. Welcome to the program.
Yes, good evening to you both. I got a comment and I've got two questions to ask you. Do you remember when they put Wisconsin and Nebraska in that same Final Four bracket, so it would not be a Big Ten, even a national championship volleyball team? Why didn't they move basically Michigan from number 2 to number 1? And my second question is, why didn't they put Alabama and Georgia in that bracket so it would not be a all SEC, could be a all SC championship game? Thank you.
All right, Jim, appreciate the phone call. Yeah, a lot of people were talking about that yesterday, Jessica, about, well, really, shouldn't Michigan maybe have been the number 1 team? I really have no problem with it. I think they got the right 4 teams, and they probably have in the right order. And if Georgia and Alabama both win, so be it. Then they're there in the finals.
Yeah, I kind of wish that they would have split them up or made them turn right around and play each other, and so that you don't have an all SEC. I'm with that camp. I know Jeremiah was at that camp. He tweeted about it, had a couple tweets about it. A lot of people kind of upset about that. I'm kind of with them. It's almost like they're protecting the SEC a little bit. But hey, you make the Final Four, go get it done, knock off one of them, shock the world, and hopefully it will be. It's crazy. I'm for Michigan. I would love to see Michigan play for a national title.
They're playing really well.
Yeah.
They really are.
I'm all for being all in with the Big Ten and or Cincinnati and having no SEC teams. How about that? Let's have no SEC teams in the national championship game.
And I think Cincinnati will acquit themselves well. I think they'll hang around with Bama. Obviously, it's a big challenge to beat Alabama, but Cincinnati's had a phenomenal year.
I just think that because we had anointed Georgia so highly all season long, that when Alabama did what they did to Georgia, it was like, well, they're the number 1 team because they just completely handled this team that has basically been the number 1 team and has looked the part from start to finish, which is nobody does really. No, every single year it's just so rare for a team to look the part from the very week 1 to now. And so for Alabama to handle Georgia the way that they did, I guess I can understand why they would give Alabama the nod.
Doug in Norfolk on our text line said, since there has been no offensive coordinator hired, do you think we're looking at an NFL guy? Doug, and maybe Jessica feels different. I don't think so. I think that there maybe have been some guys who maybe coached this past weekend that Coach Frost wanted to talk to. Maybe there's a guy coaching this weekend that's still coaching a team that he wants to talk to, but I don't think it's an NFL guy.
Yeah, I don't either. But I think, as we heard Trev Alberts say, as we've kind of heard a lot of the talk being that I think he's doing his due diligence, Coach Frost is, and making sure that he's got the right guy coming in here.
And Rudy in Florida wants to let us know that it's 75 with no wind where he is.
Oh, love that. Thanks, Rudy.
Yeah,
appreciate that.
But he's ready to root on the Huskers tonight on the court. Thanks, Rudy. Appreciate that. Hey, our Sports Sunday Hotline brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse first. 18 brands, 16 convenient locations. Simplified car buying to save you time. Shop, finance, and buy online at Woodhouse.com. 402-413-2400, the number to dial us up with a comment, a question, or fire off a text. We're back to take more of your comments, and we'll hear from Fred Hoiberg, some clips from his press conference earlier today. That's straight ahead.
Shop the Season of Inspiration sales event at Woodhouse Mazda today. Whether you're looking for a vehicle for your next adventure or an SUV with third-row capacity for the whole family, the Mazda lineup has you covered. From the Mazda CX-3 to the Mazda CX-9, the Mazda family of crossovers is designed for the road ahead. Test drive one today at one of our 2 convenient Woodhouse Mazda locations in Bellevue or Omaha. Or shop online today, making your car buying easy. This is Woodhouse.
Valley 365 is here, and the time is now to take your farming technology full circle. Valley 365 is the ultimate command center, the new single sign-on platform that brings together our tried and true technology and streamlines your entire operation. Combining the best features of AgSense, Valley Scheduling, Valley VRI, and Valley Insights, Valley 365 is the next level solution for connected crop management. Leverage your data, make the most of your time, and own your tomorrow. Contact your Valley dealer today.
Don't let the cold winter worry you. As Nebraska's leading supplier of propane, you can count on Sapp Brothers to keep your family warm this winter. You're like family, and your safety is the #1 priority of Sapp Brothers. When it comes to your propane needs, Sapp Brothers has you covered. Visit www.sappbros.net/petroleum to find your local Sapp Brothers propane expert. Celebrating 50 years of fueling America's heartland and welcoming guests, Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Husker Athletics.
Whether you compete on the court, at the track, on the field, or in the fields, winning isn't just a goal. It's a mindset, shaped, honed, and defined throughout the season. That's why farmers pushing themselves to be the best plant DeKalb brand corn. Wherever you compete, winning has roots. Perform at your best with DeKalb. Always read and follow grain marketing and all other stewardship practices and pesticide label directions.
While some seed companies put a greater stake in stock prices and anonymous shareholders, Rob Seco knows that what's important to you hits closer to home. That's why you'll find we're focused on your needs. With a simplicity that makes us easy to do business with, a relationship that makes it easy to connect with anyone in the company, and the technology, traits, and genetics you need from any source. Put your stock in a company that puts you first. Rob Seco.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. During the summer of 2021, 3 UNL students helped safeguard cattle across the state. Neely Anderson, Tatiana Jones, and Ashton Commons developed secure beef supply plans that prevent the spread of disease outbreak. The plans protect nearly 850,000 cattle across our state and provide greater economic security for this vital industry.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
You trained for this all year. Endless hours of cardio, conditioning, and weights. And now you are ready. Ready to trek back to your seat from the concession stand. Through the lines, lost fans, and that mascot who wants you to do a little dancey dance, all without spilling a drop of your ice-cold Bud Light. Welcome back to football, sports fans.
Hey, Nebraska fans, Jimmy John's in Omaha is currently looking for people to join their team with sandwich maker positions starting at $12 to $15 an hour, management positions with competitive pay and benefits, and delivery drivers earning up to $30 an hour with mileage and tips. Visit dkpmcorp.com and apply now. That's dkpmcorp.com. Come join the Jimmy John's team today. You can also visit any of the local independently owned and operated Jimmy John's franchises to learn more.
Great job, everyone. Printers, great coverage. Phones, quick pickups. Firewall, tough defense. And network, way to carry the whole team. Ever since Marco started calling our technology plays, we work smarter and our whole game is more streamlined. Marco's all-star services and support give us the winning edge. Find out what your technology could be saying at marconet.com.
Addie's Sports Bar and Grill is the place to watch Nebraska games this season. Locally owned and operated, Addie's is Omaha's premier sports bar with 4 locations in Elkhorn, Maple Street, Millard, and a new flagship Capitol location in downtown Omaha. If it's Husker game day, it's on at Addie's. Addie's Sports Bar and Grill is Omaha's official watch party spot with game day giveaways, prizes, fun, and more surprises later in the season. Addie's Sports Bar and Grill. See you there for the game.
Score a game-winning drive when you buy your next vehicle at Sid Dillon Chevrolet. As a Chevrolet Business Elite dealer, we offer commercial vehicles, including medium-duty trucks and low-cab forwards. Whatever vehicle fits your needs, we're here to make the purchase process easy. Visit our Chevy locations in Blair, Crete, Fremont, or Wahoo. Plus, shop our full inventory at SidDillonChevy.com.
You are what drives us, Sid Dillon.
Chevy, find new roads.
You already got the hat, the jersey, maybe even the occasional red and white face paint. So kick things off right this season and add the FNBO Husker Visa debit card to the list. Pay loud and proud for every Husker decal, t-shirt, or hot dog at the game. Wear your heart on your sleeve and in your wallet with the Husker Visa debit card, free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get yours today at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres Equipment, Nebraska's premier John Deere dealer. 27 locations across Nebraska and into Kansas. Acres Solutions for every field. Greg Sharp, Jessica Cootie with you here on a Monday night, only for about 15 more minutes as we'll hand it off to Matt Coatney, Jeff Greash. Huskers women's basketball opens league play tonight at the Barn in Minneapolis, taking on the Gophers. 7 o'clock tip for that game. Big Ten doubleheader going on BTN tonight as well. Fred Hoiberg met with the media earlier today. The Husker men will be on the court tomorrow night at PBA against the Michigan Wolverines. Nebraska coming off of a 13-point loss on Saturday to Indiana. The coach talked about what the team can learn from that game against the Hoosiers.
Yeah, I mean, that's the big message that we had to our guys the other day. As poorly as an offensive game as we had, it was still a 6-point game with 6 minutes left, and we had a chance to win even though the ball wasn't going through the basket. So, defensively we took a step in the right direction, and we need to build off of that. And it's going to be a similar type game plan as far as playing through the big. I thought we did a phenomenal job on Trace Jackson Davis. I thought we did a good job understanding personnel and who we closed hard to, and who we closed a little bit short to try to keep the drive out of the paint. And we rebounded well. We gave up 6 second chance points. If we can duplicate that the rest of the year, we're gonna be good. And just had a lot of things obviously needed to clean up on the other end, and had a couple solid days in that area, and now it's about carrying it over and doing it consistently for 40 minutes.
Jessica, it was an interesting game because Nebraska got off to a great start.
Yeah, they really did.
10.
They did not come out flat, Greg.
No, they didn't. But then they hit that low where they couldn't score for a while.
Yeah, they just, again, it's kind of a little bit of the same story. That's a team that's going to hit shots, especially C.J. Wilcher. I mean, he's the guy that struggled the last couple of games, and he has been the guy that's been shooting well. So, when he can get going, you could tell. Hey, Casey got the start, by the way. We had talked about that, if he was going to be in the starting lineup. But, the way that teams are defending him, we're probably going to see change a little bit as he kind of keeps hitting shots. And so you got to have other guys knock down shots. And we just did not see that. It, again, struggled from the outside and couldn't get going. But, the way that they kind of came out and started that game was really good.
5 of 22 from behind the line were the Huskers in that game. And Coach alluded to it, and we're going to hear more from him here, about the defense kept them in the game because they held Indiana to right at 40% shooting for the game. So here is the coach talking about the defense on Saturday.
Well, a lot. I mean, it's the same type of offense where they play through their big and, dominant left-hand player. The one thing that Hunter Dickinson has really added to his game is his three-point shooting. He was 3 for 3 from the three-point line in their last game against San Diego State. He's hit 4 of them this year, and his shot looks really fluid and good. So, that's the one thing this year. He really got to close to him and make him put it on the floor if he's out on the perimeter. And then, obviously, in the block, he's as good as anybody in the country. So just need to do a solid job, try to limit deep touches, and do as good a job as we can.
So Trace Jackson Davis for Indiana, he goes for 14, but only 5 of 11. Dickinson's a little bit bigger than Jackson Davis, but That's where it starts. You're going to have to defend inside. It'll be a big day for Derek Walker, Derek Walker, Jessica, I think plays really good defense.
He's playing, and we've heard it said by a lot of different people, a lot of people within the staff too. He's playing some of, or probably the best basketball of his entire career. He's been a leader. Yeah, he plays really good. He plays bigger, I think, than what he is. And he is he still leading the nation in field goal percentage? Because
he's right up there.
Yeah, I mean, he's really knocked down some big time shots inside, and yeah, I think, again, just kind of continuing to put all the pieces together, but we've seen some really good flashes from this team here or there, especially these last couple of games.
How to improve the offense. That's been the thing. This team is shooting under 30% from behind the line through their first 9 games. And you see glimpses, and they see it in practice, but that's not transferring over to the games. This was the money quote of the day from the coach as he talks about what he tried to do during practice the last couple of days to help this team develop some confidence.
Well, I think you've seen, Jacob, for the most part this year, we have generated points in the paint. We have got to the free throw line, with the exception of the last 2 games. We have not gotten to the line as much as we did early. When that shot's not falling, you need to find a way to manufacture points in other areas. And, you know, free throw line has been a strength of ours this year. Getting there, and points in the paint have been really good for us. You know, I talked about shots. You know, guys have to have confidence to continue to step up and shoot them with a swagger. And, you know, I did the old psychological, got up on the ladder and put 2 balls through the hoop. Sometimes that thing looks like a little thimble up there, which it does right now. But, you know, I put 2 balls, they both fit in the rim. It's a big ass hoop. And our guys need to understand that. So, you know, it's, we shot yesterday, we shot for an hour. That's all we did in practice. We shot. We talked a little bit about Michigan when we ran through our offense. Today we got after it, we scrimmaged, and you know, had a good physical practice. So, you know, biggest thing again is carrying everything over, you know, to a 40-minute game.
It's already a T-shirt. The big ass hoop is already a T-shirt.
Are you really?
Yeah, yeah. They've already got them made. They're going out. So.
I love that. Yeah, I mean, so much of it is about confidence, and both ways. It goes both ways. It's why you hear people say it feels like you're throwing a beach ball into the ocean.
Right.
You know, so once the lid comes off the basket, I think this team could be really dangerous, especially when you got a lot of different shooters, and it can be contagious too. And so, you know, if they could just kind of get into some rhythm, I think they kind of put a little bit of pressure on themselves. We heard Armand Gates the other day when he was on the show that sometimes they shoot too much too. You got guys that are maybe doing a little bit too much, and you got to save some of those legs as well. You got guys that are living in the gym. So, but yeah, I think so much of it is confidence, and if they can get that confidence going, look out.
Well, Michigan's the next opponent. They've struggled a little bit. I don't know if they're ranked anymore. They were 24th last week, did lose a game in the Big Ten ACC Challenge to North Carolina, did beat San Diego State. Here's the coach with a scouting report about the Wolverines.
Well, I think you see that all across the country, teams with new faces, you know, as far as once you start playing games and going through real in-game adversity and how your team's going to handle it. So, you know, all of us that have a bunch of new faces out there, you know, you're still going through that process. You know, this is an extremely talented team, got great length. They start 6'7", 6'11", 6'8", at the 3, 4, 5, and they've got experienced guards in their backcourt. So it's a good team, and they played their best game of the year by far in their last one against San Diego State.
Again, 6 o'clock tip tomorrow night, 5 o'clock pregame coverage here on the network with Kent and Jake tomorrow night. Our Sports Sunday Hotline brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse first. 18 brands, 16 convenient locations. Simplified car buying to save you time. Shop, finance, and buy online at woodhouse.com. Time to see what's on tap, presented by Bud Light. We've got Husker women's basketball just here in a couple of minutes from up in Minneapolis. The Huskers opener in league play tonight against the Gophers. Matt and Jeff standing by, ready to call that. Kent and Jake will have the men's game tomorrow night, 6 o'clock at PBA against the Wolverines, 5 o'clock for pregame coverage. And Husker volleyball in the Sweet 16 from Austin, Texas on Thursday night, 8 o'clock for pregame coverage. John Baylor, Lauren Cook West for that. Again, that's what's on tap, presented by Bud Light. Short show. Cold here, but a lot colder in Minneapolis. Looking forward to kicking back and listen to some Husker basketball here in a few minutes.
I'm excited. I think they improved to 9-0, and what a start for these ladies. And then they'll be back in PBA before you know it, and hopefully we can pack out the place for them because they deserve it. And they're fun team to watch. They got a lot of scorers, and so I think this would be a big one, getting that first Big Ten win tonight.
You and I didn't play this right. One of us should have acted as a stowaway and gone with the volleyball team tomorrow to Austin, Texas. It's probably not going to be 30 degrees in Austin, right?
No, it'll be warm
Nice
and
toasty.
You got to think the atmosphere is going to be great, and should be a couple fun matchups down there.
Should be good. So busy week here on the network. No show again for us tomorrow night because of Husker basketball against Michigan. We're back with you on Wednesday. We'll have our men's basketball show that night. Maybe we'll have some more news as it relates to football. Perhaps another coach or two will be added to Scott Frost's staff in the next couple of days. We're keeping our ear to the ground on all of that. We've been broadcasting here in the Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres Equipment, Nebraska's premier John Deere dealer with 27 locations across Nebraska and into Kansas. Acres solutions for every field. That's going to put a wrap on our show for tonight. Thanks to Jessica, to Andrew, to Tim, to Mike, to all of you for listening. Kick back, relax. It's Husker women's basketball as they start league play at Williams Arena up in Minneapolis tonight. Matt Coatney, Jeff Gree standing by. The Call coming your way next.
A DUI is everything you didn't prepare for. You did not save for it. You did not train for it. You did not go to school for it. You did not raise your family or buy a house or get a job for it. It is not your life goal or a dream come true. You have planned for everything in your life. You did not plan for a DUI. Get a ride. A DUI costs more than you think.
Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Your holidays could be even happier if you win the Nebraska Lottery's Sleigh Full of Joy promotion. Until January 5th, enter non-winning Nebraska Lottery holiday scratch tickets for a chance to win $1,000.